So we did a Halloween thing today. There we are. The drop. It's hitting you right now. We're a couple of minutes late. We apologize. Technology. It's a thing. All right. And the show is not called It's actually called The Drop. We're messing with some different things.
It's minimalist.
Quinn Bishop is here, guys, and we got the list, and we're going to talk new music. Let's do it,
Let's
brother.
kick it off.
What do you got?
It's a big deal, you know?
Oh, yeah.
These guys haven't made a record it's new studio record in many, many years. It's a brand new album from the Rolling Stones, Hackney Diamonds. Getting pretty strong reviews. I will say that it's pretty great.
And coming from a Stones fan that I know that you are, hang on, we're adjusting the camera. Is that better? I don't know. Yeah. So tell me about it. What do you love about it? Because I've only heard the I saw the video, heard the single.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard any of the rest of it.
I think that I knew it was going to be a problem with the drums. There's times where it kind of doesn't sound like the Rolling Stones,
right?
Because
Steve Jordan.
Yeah, it's Steve Jordan, but it's also kind of he's really driving it, and it's got a great beat, and the kids can dance to it. It's probably their most consistent set of songs on a new record.
Okay.
In a few records, I think the problem there is the highs aren't as high as some of the better tracks from those previous records, but the lows aren't nearly as low.
Okay.
So it's a strong record. Fans are going to dig it. Andrew Watt did a great job of producing it. I kind of and you got Lady Gaga on there. I think that Sweet Sound of Heaven song is terrific. There's something for everybody on there that they're going to dig it. It's when you get to the point where you're a heritage act and you're 60 years into your career, you're really trying to do something that maybe adds a little bit to your legacy, but certainly doesn't foul it up, and that's the territory we're working in.
When you're the heritage act of all heritage,
you set the standard,
the great granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and this means something, right? They explained it.
Well, isn't that where they're from? They're from Hackney, and it's 60th anniversary. That's what I thought. I could be wrong.
Okay, that makes sense.
I haven't read that, but that's what my brain put together.
A true Stones fan.
And the track with Paul McCartney on there is great. Did you hear the story about the bass?
I didn't know there was a track with Paul McCartney.
So Andrew Watt gave him, he's on this Bite My Head Off song, and he plays fuzz bass.
Get out.
Andrew Watt gave him a Hofner bass, and Paul's like, why am I getting it? He goes, just plug it in and check it out. And he he had his guitar tech wire it so that it's got like this classic fuzz jam thing on it. So he's playing on that. It's a cool track.
Nice,
it's fun.
Nice.
I would love to have been in the room.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Yeah. Super, super fun. Okay. This is another record that is a big deal. This is the sophomore effort from Black Puma's Austin Modern Soul Act, which was a surprise to me because I actually thought they'd announced that they were broken up like 6 months ago. But you get a new record from them. Fans are kind of crazy about it. This indie store exclusive colored vinyl, and it's beautiful. Today, arriving later today, there's an exclusive Texas edition.
Nice.
25. They would only sell us 25 copies of the Texas
course.
Colored vinyl edition. So you can pick that up here at the store. By all accounts, great record. Why not? 7-time Grammy nominated band. Of course, and this is a group, if you think, I don't think I know them, you have heard their music licensed on commercials, film, TV shows. I mean, non-stop.
Yeah. They could be
non-stop.
They could be a big breakout band before you know it.
First time I saw them, I think it was when they opened for the Suffers. like they were just kind of bubbling
Sure.
under early.
Well,
gig here in Houston.
once they started getting a little traction, I remember that I reached out to their management a couple of times about, hey, do you want to do something? Hey, we'd love to have the guys. Hey, da 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 da. And I mean, there was a little bit of buzz, but it wasn't like they weren't like just what they are now, and they just never were not interested.
No,
so.
nationally and internationally, just went through the roof.
Yeah, 100%. Well,
Okay.
good for those guys.
Yeah, and continuing in the welcome back mode, Blink 182 has a new LP with all the original members. It's a big deal. I think we're just on this 20-year retro thing where music of that era is just kind of super hot. You get 17 new songs. We put the indie store exclusive on Coke Bottle.
Yeah.
Clear. I heard that, I heard it's kind of funny that side one is like exactly what you expect and want from them, and then side two they kind of stretch out and do something a little more. Two of those guys like almost died in between making.
Produced by Travis Barker. Has he produced their albums before?
I do not know.
I don't know the answer to that.
I do not know this, but let me tell you, it's much adulation and people flipping out.
Yeah, I have a friend, big Blink fan. I like Blink as well. I'm not like the biggest Blink fan, but I do like them quite a bit. And he said he loves this record.
It's really so.
I saw some of the Coachella set.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I saw some of the Coachella set and I liked it.
Yeah.
Not because I was there. It was on YouTube.
Great tunes. I think it speaks to people, and they're glad to have them back. We're glad to have them back. Next up, I think that they just put this out to have something at the same day as the Rolling Stones. So
why not?
This is a new compilation from Bob Dylan called "Mixing Up the Medicine." A lot of his favorite tracks, not necessarily hits, but some of his finest.
The songs
recordings.
Yeah, a lot of the songs you know.
And so that's out on LP CD. Has a couple of the tracks that you've been, you run. When an artist has that large of a catalog, there's some songs that will pop through occasionally and become hits, years afterwards.
Yeah.
Or certainly be more. And a lot of that's television, a lot of that's commercials or whatever. And this kind of, I think, addresses a little bit of that, but it's a retrospective.
Well, it tells us here, companion piece to Mixing Up the Medicine book.
There you are.
So some new writings coming from him. Cool.
There you go.
How old is Dylan now?
It's 80.
Yeah, he's up there, man. He's up there.
I don't know.
He's up there.
He makes Willie makes him look young.
Shoot.
Okay, let's talk about some modern music. We've hit the heritage stuff, and let's talk about this is the new Sanford record, Lahai. This is his sophomore album as well, and what you need to know about him, British artist. He won the Mercury Prize in 2017, which is no easy feat.
It's a
very
huge
respectable
deal.
And you know him because if you think I haven't heard that guy, he's all over Beyonce's records. He's all over Drake's records. He's all over Kendrick Lamar's records. You're familiar with him, and if you listen to this, you're going to be able to tell what he contributed to those records. Yeah, cool record. I think modern soul.
This one's on white vinyl.
On white vinyl. On white vinyls. Check that out. That's
available now at Cactus Music. Come get it.
There you are. Next up, Jake Scott, Lavender. So this guy has like an insane amount of multi-platinum selling alternative pop artist. But this is his debut LP. This is really, I wanted to include this because this is really how things are happening now. People have a bunch of tracks that are streamed like crazy, and then they get to make a full length and put it out. And that's what this is here. A well-established artist that's that has its first LP. He is really well known for collaborating with Aloe Black, and I really like this Aloe Black records a lot. So
there you go.
Yeah, we'll see how he does on his own.
Also on covered vinyl.
Yeah. Next up, the Bombay Bicycle Club is a cool British band, really kind of a guitar-driven rock band. This cover is pretty wacky.
Is this new music?
Brand new album from them, yeah. And
they've been around for a minute.
Yeah,
man.
they're kind of essentially kind of a guitar rock band, but there's elements of synth and kind of more like global international music and a little bit of electronic in there. This record they have
lots of guests.
Yeah, you get a lot of guests on there. I mean, Damon Albarn and Shaka Khan back to back. That's
among others.
Yeah,
that's
and then
crazy.
That Holly
Humberstone. Yep,
she's really kind of breaking out and
We had one of her
musicians
albums,
on
didn't
there.
we?
Yeah, we featured one of the
we featured
records
her
on the drop.
So cool
And
cover
so
too.
listen to this. This is a cool record. They have a lot of fans, and they are a terrific live act. I think that's really kind of where their
Cool, man.
bread is buttered. People will be excited to see them. But it's a validation to have Damon. If you're a British fan, to have Damon on your record.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
He's the cheese. He's cheese, bro.
He's the big man. I love this. This is very cool.
Toro Moi has a new EP. Sandhills in Toro Moi. I mean, it really kind of he can do everything. Like just for grins, look at what the genre designation is on one of like Wikipedia or something.
Yeah.
This guy plays every kind of music that's out there,
and sometimes on one album.
On one album.
So my thing, and I haven't heard the new one yet. It's like he's got. There are songs that I've heard them and had to go, who is that? And then I hear it and I'm like, oh, great, I need to get that, or I need to, have that in my collection. But then there's a lot of the music that I just can't.
Yep, I'm the same way.
I'm everywhere.
I'm the same way. So he really says in Toro Moi's the project of Chaz Bear.
Mm-hmm.
He has other projects as well because he apparently can't stop making music. I think that's the thing about him is it just kind of flows.
Right.
There's really not a big filter, but he's got records that I love, and he's got records that I kind of don't really connect with. I love this. This is very chill.
Then I'm
wavy,
going to check this. I'm going to check
very
this one
chill,
out.
wavy, autobiographical, kind of acoustic singer-songwriter driven, but still having this like electronic. And his voice is fantastic.
It's fantastic. Yeah, he loves his effects. That's for sure.
Yeah, he does. And there's a lot of signal processing on the voice, but check it out. It's
Black Vinyl
really
featuring an etched B-side.
There you go. Yeah, because it's just 5 songs. EP. He loves to make EPs. All right, we have a little Uzi Vert, Pink Tape. Man, this artist is just ginormous, right? Like 30 billion streams or something like that, and multi-platinum, 10 diamond status, over 10 millions in sales. The big hit on here is Just Wanna Rock, and it was a hit I think at the end of last year, and then they've been dropping tracks. But I mean, again, there's going to be a bunch of guests on here. The oddest one is the last one.
Baby Metal.
Yep. I mean, you expect Travis Scott and Nicki Minaj might be in there, but maybe not. Well, Baby Metal.
He wants to make sure he leaves no fan base untouched.
Yeah. Don
Toliver, Bring Me the Horizon, Snow Strippers, Travis Scott, and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, and he's just
good.
Eclipse is just superstar artist.
I love that.
More than just operating in his genre.
We need our rock and rap superstars.
Oh yeah,
to keep things going.
Oh yeah, we do.
Make it interesting before AI just starts creating all our music.
It could happen.
I'm afraid of that.
All right, I know you like these guys. We talked about their previous record, and this is he made 2 records, kind of conceptual.
Yep.
The last one was Darkbringer. This is Lightbringer. This is Rival Sons. Terrific heavy band. This is their 8th album. Ferocious live act.
Modern hard rock.
Hard rock.
Yeah.
Classic hard rock. And I think this is one of those acts when people are like, I like heavy music from the 70s, but I don't really hear much that I like.
These are
your guys, man.
Here's your ticket to paradise.
Straight down the middle. It's not an accident why they opened for Black Sabbath and toured with one iteration of Lizzie.
Yeah. I mean, Aerosmith will pick them up a few times for their final dates. That kind of thing. These guys are great, man.
They know what they're doing. They're great.
These guys are great. And I love Mr. Fuzzlord on guitar.
He's a great.
Yeah, he is.
Great player for sure.
Yeah, sharp dresser too.
Little bitty record. 7-inch single. This is Muna, Pink Chiffon, and I
love that song. I don't know why.
This is a big song.
I don't know why. I loved it the moment I heard it, and when they dropped, it wasn't this year. I think it was last year at Coachella.
22.
Last year at Coachella, and Boy Genius had just done a few shows, and they run on stage and do this song with them. Yep. It's fantastic.
So last year was their breakout.
New York City, right? No. LA. Yeah, because I think they all met at USC. I think is the story.
So
this is such a great song.
Synthie pop group they're on. They made a couple records on another label that didn't really connect, so they signed to Phoebe Bridgers' label,
Satisfactory,
which is the best label name ever.
Satisfactory Records. I love her.
And because this song was such a such a huge track. They did a 7-inch single, one-off, available exclusively at indie record stores, pink vinyl, good stuff.
Do you know what is a telltale sign that you have spent too much time on your smartphone?
No.
So I was just looking at this picture. You see the sign next to the house? I was just about to do this.
On the actual... Don't do that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Maybe time to just read a book tonight.
And they were just tapped. They're going to open.
Here, take this away from me. Don't give this back to me.
They're going to open some dates on the Taylor Swift tour. So that's
not surprising.
They're going to connect with a bunch of fans with that.
Not surprising.
Sure. Are you ready to rock?
Yes, please.
It is Rocktober.
Yes, please.
It is Rocktober. And to celebrate their 50th
I'm ready to de-evolve.
De-evolve, everybody.
I'm ready for some de-evolution.
In celebration of their 50th.
Come on.
50th anniversary. Devo has a new compilation. All the hits.
It feels like Devo.
All of the hits. Great new artwork. Remastered by the band. And look, if you buy this from Cactus, we have a cool energy dome slip mat for your turntable.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, how about that?
That's a good price for that, dude.
That's a look of.
It's on red and blue vinyl. Okay. Best Devo song to cover.
It's a big hit, but I mean, Gates of Steel.
Exactly.
Did we just bond?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. That.
All right.
Come on, man. That is. I mean, just it's such a simple riff, but
it's so good.
Dun, dun.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, great band. I mean, it's like magic that these guys found an audience and became huge.
I remember going out and buying the first album, and I'd listen to it. And I'd look at it, and it had just that weird yellow cover with the dude like in the golf hat,
strange.
And it's like, I love when you're just perplexed by something,
My first Devo memory was seeing them on
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live,
yeah,
like so many
which was what, like 79,
and my father
80?
watching it being like, "What the hell is?" Like,
and I knew they were doing. I knew they were doing a Stones song, but I'm like, "What is happening?" Yeah.
People flipped.
Yeah, man.
People flipped.
In the best possible way.
Yeah. That's when,
Heads
blowing up. Okay. Now we're to the reissue part of our program. People love this. We're going to talk about some anniversaries.
Yeah.
50th anniversary of David Bowie's classic covers album, Pinups. This is where he performs The Who, Pink Floyd, The Pretty Things, Van Morrison, The Who. I already said The Who. Easy Beats. This is, kind of a stopgap record in between him morphing into a different persona, as he often
changing
did.
His skin.
This is one of those records people, dismiss it, and other people love it. I'm in the love it category. You basically take that Ziggy Stardust sound and template and slap it on top of a bunch of great songs, Kinks, etc. And it's all his favorite songs from back in the day when he was like trying to make it.
I love this.
Yeah, and the artwork is so
fantastic,
iconic, right?
All right, I know we got to keep it moving, but which era David Bowie, if you could hang out with, you would have gone, you can go have a beer with David Bowie. Which era David Bowie do you go to the pub with?
Maybe the hippie David Bowie, maybe the late 60s hippie folky
early
guy,
dawn of glam Bowie.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely not the Studio 54.
No, you're gonna hate
stay
me.
Up all night.
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. But I think it's Scary Monsters Bowie.
Oh,
because I just love that album so much.
It's pretty great.
All right, whatever.
All right, 30th anniversaries. We just passed 50th.
Now
this is a 30th. And again, I can't believe these records are 30 years old. Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville, huge record. I mean, really, for Matador, one of their biggest selling records to that point. And really, they launched a huge artist with this record.
I mean, she was one of those trailblazers for some of these wonderful female artists we have today.
And such a great balance of lo-fi and melodic.
Yeah.
Like strong melody, great
strong
tunes,
melodies, great lyrics. And
this hasn't been available as like a standalone LP in a long time, so it's
Exile
good that it's available
100%.
again.
Limited edition purple vinyl, people.
Purple, we like purple. This record cover is purple, but
I saw that tour.
The LP is yellow, I believe.
I saw that tour.
This is the U2 Zooropa
Man.
30th anniversary, and this is This is a terrific record. I think it gets kind of slighted because
YouTube,
it follows
hardcore
Octoon Baby.
YouTubers did not like it.
No, but I think it's a
they gave it a lot
record.
of try. That's one of the best songs they've ever written.
Yeah, and I love the singles. You know, like Lemon's great.
Yeah,
and
Lemon's fantastic.
This really kind of is the
I like the opening track. I mean,
yeah, and this record also is kind of the relaunch of Johnny Cash with the Wonder becomes like a big predates his American recordings. You can kind of, even if U2's not your thing, you can kind of give them a little credit for the relaunch of Johnny Cash.
2 LP pressed on transparent yellow vinyl featuring the singles numb, you know, yeah. So, man, all those people posting, we've talked about this before. People posting just video on Instagram that saw them at the Sphere. That's their residency, right? They're going to be there for a while.
They're going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
Smart. They get to align themselves with a whole new venue, and everybody thinks it's like U2's venue. Like, no, it's a venue.
They're just kind of kicking it off.
They're smart.
Did you see they did the pumpkin for Halloween? You could.
I dig it. Ridiculous. I think it's great. Okay, the ever
jazz.
popular
jazz. Come on, man.
Some days we skip it. Some drops we skip it. We've got 2 great ones.
There's a lot of good
here.
Jazz
We have Hank Mobley,
the legendary Hank Mobley.
No Room for Squares, and this came out in '63, and it followed him doing like several like really like hard bop classics. But this is probably his most ambitious and one of his most highly regarded recordings.
You want to tell him who's on it?
Oh, you got Philly Joe Jones, Andrew Hill, Hank Mobley, and O'Donnell Byrd, Herbie Hancock.
Come on,
That's
man.
pretty still. We're leaving off some other big names there.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
But,
there are no slackers on this record, man.
And let me just say this too. This is probably Reed Miles, who photographed so many of the Blue Note album covers. I think this is one of the best album covers.
What's the photographer?
Reed Miles.
Oh wow, I did not even know that.
Yeah, he shot. There's a great book of all his photography, but I
gotta look that up because everybody just looked so cool,
right?
Like so ridiculous.
And this reminds me of the Lou Donaldson album cover where he's like looking at he's on the side of the car and you see like the car. It's kind of like that, but
wow, man,
I don't know what that is. Anyways, great cover. And
is it a mirror?
I couldn't tell what it is. I think it might be.
Or is it a drum with no head on it? I don't know.
Fans, write a studio audience. Let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
Next up, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is his great album Mosaic, another killer photo of him rocking. If you don't own any of his records, I mean, they're really the quintessential, drummer as a band leader. Records, and they're super likable. Again, killer personnel. On this record.
And guess what? No slackers on here either.
No slackers. Run them down.
So the great Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Curtis Fuller's trombone, Wayne Shorter on tenor. Come on, man. Cedar Walton on piano, Jimmy Merritt, and of course Art Blakey.
And so this record is from '61, and while he had
killers, all of them,
made a bunch of great records, this is a watershed record for him because this introduces Freddie Hubbard and Cedar Walton to his band, and also adds in Curtis on trombone. And this particular group went on through '64 and made some of the most important jazz recordings of the '60s. But this is where it starts. So if you're looking to kick it off,
this is killer, man.
There you go.
Absolutely killer.
There you go.
Killer.
All right, we ready to crawl into the vinyl vault?
Yes, I'm excited about this because I have a story.
Are you?
I was so happy when you told me you were picking this.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about one of my favorite Touchstone albums of all time. And we were talking about summer picks for a while. This is like one of my favorite summer picks. This is Red Cross's Third Eye album. This is a reissue because I don't think it ever came out on LP to begin with. Back in the day, this is 1990. And what you need to know about this is 1990. It's the height of grunge, when everyone's trying to sound like, the heaviest thing possible, like Grand Funk Railroad. These guys are rooted in late 60s, early 70s. It's as much, Partridge Family as it is. As it is. Heavy rock, but it certainly rocks. But there's a ton of great 100%. Songs on it. Pretty much everybody acknowledges this as like a four-star album.
So the only Red Cross that I was aware of was that one song. There was a video for it, and they played it on 120 Minutes all the time. I can't remember what it was. I never listened to one other track, never bought a CD, album, anything by Red Cross because I had a friend, and there was a very popular bar here called Emos, and I would frequent that bar, you know, in the 90s quite a bit, multiple nights a week, and so would he. But after a couple of drinks, his favorite thing was to tell anybody that would listen, whether they wanted to hear it or not, that this was the greatest band in the world, that every other band sucked, and you were an idiot if you didn't listen to this band. So on principle, I never listened to one song. I heard them later.
Difficult. It does make it. It does when you get a testimonial,
they remind me of that
like
dude that I hated.
That is sometimes it's hard to separate the fan from the band.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway,
two brothers from Monsanto, and California.
How many people since them like name check these guys?
Oh yeah, they're hugely influential band, and they're still making terrific records. A little trivia for you. So when this record came out, if you're familiar with this record, there's a track 1976 used for the film 1976. In the middle of that song, it sounds like Paul Stanley is singing.
Yes.
And it is and they didn't list it. And so everybody who had acknowledged that people knew that they were huge Kiss fans, and the band actually liked them. So everybody's like, oh, it's Paul Stanley. But they never acknowledge it. It's actually the guitar player, Robert Hecker, doing his best Paul Stanley imitation.
That is fantastic. Okay, now I got to listen to it because of that.
Another little bit of trivia. The not clad, I was going to say scantily clad, the not clad female, that's Sofia Coppola.
What?
Yeah. So it's just the LA cool kids.
Hanging out.
But this is a timeless record. It's heavy. It's brilliant power pop. Heavy guitar, but like tons of great songs. I love this band.
Got to go back and listen to this one then for sure.
So there you go.
For sure. I love that. We covered a lot of ground. Oh, so good. I'm glad you're going to talk about this. Do it.
So I was going to mention, we've been hosting quite a few personal appearances or in-store performances recently. And just as a reminder, one of the things we do around here, we know not everybody can make it like Ruben does to the Cactus Music in stores to see a band rock out or meet an artist and get to shake their hand and say hello. So what we do is we make sure that we have them sign extra copies so you can pick up the new Baroness album signed by the band. So that's here.
And we were talking about this before the show. They did 5 songs?
Yeah.
On acoustic guitars, and Quinn made a good point. It's like how many heavy bands or progressive metal or whatever you want to call this can actually just sit down and just on 2 acoustic guitars do brilliant versions of their songs. And they did 5 songs?
Yeah, I think so. It
was great. People were like screaming for them to do one more, and they were like, "Well, we got to do a show tonight."
Yeah,
of course, blow your voice out.
So we had some Macy Peters signed records.
Yes,
from when she
I was not
here.
at this show.
And Ben Folds.
What was that like?
Out at the record store. He was cool, man.
Yeah,
he just hung out. It was great.
Oh, he didn't perform. Fans.
He did not perform. Gotcha. He just met fans. So, as Christmas approaches, you need to get something unusual for something. And they're autographed. We have a whole display of autographed items here.
So smart. We were also talking before the show that, of course, I'm blanking singer for Baroness. Name
John Basley.
Was huge supporter of independent music stores, local mom and pop stores, and keeping that alive.
He said it like perfectly. He's like, this is so special. This is us, the artist.
Yeah.
This is you, the fan, and this is the independent store that we all congregate at.
Right.
This is where the magic happens.
Right.
It doesn't happen, with ginormous retail and
there's
content providers that doesn't care about you. This is where it happens.
This is 180 degrees opposite away from the big machine, so hopefully by now the drop is reaching some people outside of Houston. Maybe we've made it somewhere else, but if there's an independent music store wherever you are, you got to check it out because there's probably cool stuff happening there as well. All right, anything coming up in the future? What do we need to know?
We're going to announce some cool. Well, we're going to make some announcements with regard. I think today we're going to have Peter Case.
Oh, nice.
Peter Case from the Plimsolls is going to perform here in conjunction with our good friend David Insmingers. He's got a new book. He's written a bunch of books about music that are mostly punk and mostly punk actually, but and Peter's featured in the book, so it's going to be like a combo author event. I love it. Musical performance. So you'll see more about this. Pay attention to the Cactus socials, and then I love it. We've got some more good stuff coming up too.
I love it. All right, guys, you know the drill. Hit the share button. Tell somebody else about it. click on this multiple times if you don't have anything to do, so our numbers go up. And we'll see you next Thursday for the drop. Goodbye to you. I'm in charge of pressing the button. Did you know that?
I did not.
Okay, watch this.